The following podcast is a deep, shallow dive production, and you're going to love it.
All right, I'm going to let my boy Kip's intro roll for, maybe I'll let it roll all week. I love when he says, and you're going to love it. That was pretty funny. Anyway, hey, happy Monday, everybody. I hope everybody had a good weekend. Sorry I missed you a couple days last week. Things got a little hectic on the work front. But besides that, oh my God, I've had a lot of people tell me they're super far behind and they needed to catch up. So anyway, I thought I'd give people a few days to catch up. And when I looked at my statistics, it looks like people did catch up over the weekend. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, wanted to get back into a bunch of stuff. Man, a lot of interesting things are going on in this world right now. And the 25th, which was yesterday, was the 2-year anniversary of the beginning of the Ukraine-Russia war. Can you believe that? That was 2 years ago that started. And I was looking at a couple of news articles where basically their President Zelensky was, really kind of begging for more money, and he wants that 60 billion additional funding. And he was talking about how if he doesn't get it, millions of Ukrainians are going to die. And then in the Reuters article, or the Reuters stats, they said there were 31,000 dead Ukrainians over the past 2 years. Now, obviously, most of those are soldiers, which again, dead is sad. So, soldier or civilian, a loss of a life, I think is incredibly sad. But of that 31,000, obviously a lot of them were soldiers. And then the next article talked about the death toll in Gaza, which Reuters had at 29,313. And that's been after 141 days. So think about that. 730 days, 31,000 dead Ukrainians. 141 days, 29,313 dead Palestinians. But the difference is, that Palestinian death toll, that is a predominantly civilian death toll, where the Ukrainian one, again, this is based on what Reuters is saying, is predominantly soldiers. What's interesting is that, God, you don't really see on social media, and I don't really remember ever really seeing much footage when it comes to the destruction in Ukraine. Now, again, I don't know. I don't know how much of that is just not, I don't know. But I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't really remember seeing, what we're witnessing in terms of what is taking place in Gaza. And again, whether you want to call that a genocide or you do not want to use that word, like Bernie Sanders does not want to use that word, I don't really care. It's ridiculously painful and sad to see it. But I don't remember really seeing that all play out, even at the beginning of the Ukraine war, let alone, now that we're 2 years in. But anyway, fundamentally, on both sides of that, it's ridiculously sad. That's almost 60,000 people that have lost their lives, soldiers or civilians. May they all rest in peace. All right, so today I wanted to talk about a couple things. Actually, one thing that I wanted to talk about that I've been meaning to talk about in a while is...
That's the thing that we keep seeing in poll after poll after poll is concern about Biden's age, full stop. Mm-hmm. What should he do on this? Is it a matter of sort of like underscoring his boundless energy, or should he embrace his 8 decades on Earth and the great wisdom he's gained through all of this?
Do you have the above? All of the above. I talk to people in the White House all the time, and.
All right, I'm sure you recognize the voice, but this is Hilary Clinton giving an interview on a CBS, I think it was Face the Nation. It was last week, but I'm really man, it's interesting. It's the first time I've ever heard her kind of go in or even acknowledge Biden's age as a factor.
You know, they know it's an issue, but as I like to say, look, it's a legitimate issue. It's a legitimate issue for Trump, who's only 3 years younger, right? So it's an issue.
I will say it's not like Trump's a spring chicken, but there's no comparison between these two guys. There's just not. Oh my God. I saw a video over the weekend of Biden at some diner in LA. Like he made an appearance with Mayor Karen Bass at a diner in LA, and somebody shot, super close up video. And again, I mean, it's just sad. I mean, he's old. He comes off old. Now, granted, I've got a guy at my gym who's 81, and the dude crushes me. So, yes, age is relative, but in Biden's case, he comes off 81 and then some. He just comes off old.
Once you say that, then you have to also talk about what's at stake in the election. And I'm for Joe Biden for re-election on the merits, because I think he's done a really good job as president. So I think he should continue to get out and campaign. He's been campaigning pretty vigorously across the country, and he actually does events where he's interacting with people, unlike Trump, who stands on a stage and, goes on and on for, 90 minutes.
Man, the visceral hate between Hillary Clinton and Trump, that might be like trying to think of two people who hate each other more. Gosh. Well, two people in politics who hate each other more. I don't know. I really can't think of anybody. If anybody can think of two people that hate one another more than Hillary and Trump, let me know. Anyway, the point of that clip was I was very surprised to hear Hillary Clinton even acknowledge Biden's age. I really was. The same way I was very surprised to hear her, I played this in the previous episode 108, talking about Benjamin Netanyahu, and she said he's like a reckless leader and he can't be trusted. And again, that's the first time she said that. So remember what I talked about previously? Like, I look for trends. I really do. I look for kind of trends that I see happening. And I've definitely seen the top brass, let's say, folks like Hillary Clinton, Nancy Pelosi, that crowd. I've seen them go after Netanyahu a little bit. That's surprising / interesting. And then I've seen them go after Biden's age, not go after his age, but acknowledge his age. And then even Gavin Newsom over the weekend, he was on, again, I think it was it might have been NBC. And he came on and said, I 100% think Biden should debate Trump this year. And I was like, dude, you do not want, I'm not saying Trump is like the greatest debater, but I would not want to have him debate anybody, let alone someone as mean and visceral as Trump. I really was surprised that Gavin Newsom would advocate for that. So again, the cynic in me is like, okay, he's saying that because he knows Biden's not going to be even on the ticket. Or he's saying that because he knows it's never going to happen for whatever reason. Because again, I mean, if you watch videos of President Biden, and by the way, this is honestly where like I take off my what's the word? I take off my feelings, or I put aside any feelings I might have for, the job he's done or whatever, good or bad. And I just look at him as a human being, and I look at him as like someone's dad. I mean, God, I don't want to say my dad because I don't know. I don't look at anybody as my dad except my dad. But I look at him as like a father or a grandfather. And again, I'm being serious. Like, I feel bad for the guy. I know a lot of you probably hate Biden as much as a lot of you probably hate Trump. I get that too. Trust me. I know that for sure. But I know a lot of my listeners hate Biden as well. And I guess all I'm saying is, yeah, that's fine. I'm not trying to convince you otherwise on either one, actually. But what I am saying is, if you try to look at them as human beings, I mean, you really do feel bad about Biden. Like you just do. Like I watched him in that clip with Mayor Karen Bass, and man, he's just like, it's like he's shuffling when he walks. He's like sliding when he walks. It's kind of like old Frankenstein or something, because he just can't move properly, and you can tell just everything is in slow motion. Everything is in slow motion. I'm seriously blown away he has been able to manage himself as well as he has. I mean, that's a relative statement. But man, the rigors of that office and the rigors of public life and the rigors of even public speaking and having to read off a teleprompter. I mean, I know it's a teleprompter. God, I hate reading off a teleprompter. But like the fact that he's able to do it, now granted, he has had a lot of experience. I totally get that. But again, I don't know. I feel bad for the dude. I really do. I just feel he is just significantly old. And Hilary and then Gavin Newsom coming out saying he should debate. I mean, come on. That just, like I said, the cynic in me is like, okay, as soon as I heard Gavin say that, I'm like, dude, there's no way if you were having beers with your bros and they're like, dude, Gavin, is he going to debate? There's no way you'd be like, oh, yeah, totally. Oh, my God, he'll crush Trump. Come on. That's ridiculous. So something's up with all that. And I think, I don't know, the Netanyahu thing, the Biden age thing, we are getting into March. I honestly can't remember if I've said this before, but if not, I'll say it again. If not, I'll say it again. Wait a minute. If I didn't say it before, then I can't really say it again. If I did, I'll say it again. And if not, here it is for the first time. Remember, COVID officially kicked off March 13th, 2020. So we are like 15 days away from that. And we are getting down to the primary voting for the two candidates. Obviously, Biden's going to win. I mean, there's no way Trump's not going to win the Republican nomination. If you missed it, he ended up crushing Nikki Haley in her home state of South Carolina, and Nikki Haley is going on. She's not dropping out. Now, granted, she was bitter.
You know, you people can complain all you want. You can call me bird brain, nasty Nikki, neocon Nikki, Nimrod, Nimrata. You don't like that I'm for open borders and illegal immigration? That's fine. You don't like that I got filthy rich by selling my influence to the military-industrial complex? That's fine. You don't like that I want to start World War III anywhere, anytime, any way that I can? That's fine. You don't like that I want to raise the age for Social Security? That's fine. You don't like that I want to make people dox themselves to use the internet? That's fine. You don't like that I'm paid for by a Democrat who's been to Epstein's Island? That's fine. But let me remind you, this is America. Those globalist oligarchs you hate so much have a right to have their voices heard. If they want to pay someone to represent their interests, well, that's fine too. Sometimes the world needs a whore. And if you're asking me, that time is now.
Holy guacamole. I do not even know how to respond to that, Miss Nikki Haley. Wow. That was a retort, my friends. That was a retort. I mean, she laid the smackdown on me. Good golly, Miss Molly. I'm just kidding. That was obviously not Nikki Haley, but probably someone who cloned her voice in 11 Labs. That's pretty scary, man. Seriously, that is pretty scary. Listen to how good that was. I mean, that really sounds like her. And there was a video attached, which I posted on Instagram and Facebook and a couple places. And man, they've got, like, they match the lip sync. Like, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. Actually, I will tell you guys in a later episode this week about some new AI tools. One in particular called Hey Jen, which might create a clone of your boy, a real version of Ray D AI. Ray D AI might be back. Oh man. Anyway, so she got crushed in South Carolina, but here's the deal. She's not dropping out. And that's weird. It just is. Now, I'll tell you why she's not dropping out. One, it's not her money. She doesn't care. Why would she drop out? Like, seriously, why would she drop out? It's not her money. She doesn't care. She's being told what to do, where to go, what to say, all of that. And whomever is backing her, some of those names are known, they're playing the long game. They're playing the we don't think Trump is going to make it to the altar game. And that's why she's staying in the race. Now, I really have no idea if, God forbid something really bad happened to Trump. And by the way, even if you hate Trump, you should not wish that on him. That's not cool. But let's say a non-JFK situation a non-JFK situation happens. Yeah. So like a JFK situation does not happen to him. Let's say one of these legal ordeals. I mean, he's got so many of them. One of them really sticks. I don't know. I don't know if Nikki Haley by default gets the Republican nomination or if it has to go back to the Republican caucus and all that. I don't know. I will look that up and get back to you on that. But regardless, Nikki Haley's staying strong. She's hanging tough like the new kids. And she's staying in it because she's playing the long game. And they're telling her to play the long game. And like I said, it's not her money. So why does she care? She doesn't. Anyway, just to end on the Nikki Haley stuff, listen, I do want to make something clear. I don't have anything personally against Nikki Haley. I've had a couple of people, they're like, dude, what's your deal with Nikki Haley? Did she turn you down 20 years ago for a date or something? Which I thought was pretty funny. No, she did not. I don't have anything against her on a personal level. Well, on a whatever level. What I have against her, actually, it's not against her. I've studied this stuff. I really have. I understand this military-industrial complex stuff. I understand, the duplicity of politicians. I really do. And she's textbook. She is textbook. And it's not only now, it's from her entire time in the United Nations and the hundreds of clips of her going back on her statements from previous. So anyway, it's not anything personal, but it's calling a spade. It really is. It's calling a spade. And I don't think she will be good for the country. I really don't. I don't think she'll be good for the world in any type of leadership position because she's controlled and she's owned. She absolutely is owned. Everything Vivek said about her in those debates was true. She literally could not, in front of the entire country on the debate stage, she could have literally ended Vivek's political career if she simply was able to give the 3 or 4 provinces in the Ukraine by name that she wanted to send $200 billion to. She couldn't do that. She could have literally ended Vivek on that stage and just completely owned him. But she doesn't even know the provinces that she wants to send all this money to and that she's championing and fighting for all this money. You know what I mean? That's why I guess I've gone in on her the way I have because she's deceptive. She is. She's pulling the wool over many people's eyes, including some of my close friends. I've got some close friends that, we've had some heated discussions on her because they're fans. And I'm like, dude, do you just hate Trump that much or are you a fan of Nikki Haley? Because if you just hate Trump, okay, cool. Just admit that. That's fine. I don't care. But don't bite off your nose to spite your face. Oh man, that was a perfect use of that little ditty. bite off your nose to spite your face. Anyway, that's Nikki Haley. All right, so that's all today. I kind of wanted to go over those two things. I got some good episodes for this week. I actually recorded a couple over the weekend that are in the queue, so to speak, and then I've got a couple more that I've written down. But I'm going to get back into doing some deep, shallow dive health episodes. Namely, I'm going to talk about number 1 and number 2. That's right, your poo-poo and your pee-pee. Because you know what? That shit, unintended, is important. And I want to try and explain that. Like, explain what you see and what you smell. I know that's weird and gross, but hey, you know what? We're at an age, most of my listeners are at an age where we need to care about this stuff. So I'm going to have that episode. We're going to get into a little more of the geopolitics stuff. I got some new AI things that we're going to talk about. Anyway, that's it. By the way, social media, we're everywhere, and things are really actually fun. I will say the Deep Shallow Dive Instagram account is lit. It definitely is. We are up to over 35,000 followers. There are some incredibly lively conversations that go on there. We're also on Facebook, TikTok. The YouTube is starting to get rolling. A lot of my short clips are on YouTube, but basically I pretty much post all the content everywhere. So right now, obviously you can listen to this podcast wherever you listen to your podcast, or on YouTube, or if you don't use any of those players, obviously you can listen to it directly through your browser on our website at deepshallowdive.com. And then, like I said, all these fun clips, and there's more coming up. They should pretty much be everywhere. But, you know, if you're an Instagram person, then follow the Deep Shallow Dive Instagram page. If you're a Facebook person, you can follow the Deep Shallow Dive Facebook page. Same thing, TikTok, YouTube. All right, everybody, have a great day, and call a spade, and your boy is back, and I'm re-energized. Oh, and I just forgot how to hit stop on the mouse.
The ending was terrific.
This episode is being brought to you by the upcoming book, Deep Shallow Dive Into You. That's right, Bro wrote a book, and it's coming soon. Stay tuned.